were just out of high school at Pasadena Playhouse, weren't you?
I was out of high school. I went almost a year to City College, and I was so bad in my grades that I took an acting course just to get 3 credits, because they said nobody flunks acting, so I took it. And after that, I said, okay, I want to be an actor, and I didn't think I was any good. I just didn't want to go to work, go to the service. I heard about Pasadena Playhouse. I go there, 2-year school, and I meet Gene. I think I met him in the first month. I don't remember how we met.
We were in a couple of classes together.
That's right. That's right. I think we did Mice and Men, a scene from Mice and Men.
And we did an improv once of
That's right.
Uncle Remus or something. I don't know.
That's right. You were Uncle Remus.
Yeah. But I was much older than almost everybody in the class.
Well, you got in on a GI Bill.
Yeah, I was.
You'd been in the Marines.
I had been in service for a while.
You'd been in China.
Mm-hmm.
He went into the Marines when he was like 13.
But I didn't get any encouragement at the Pasadena Playhouse. I was kind of a big lummox kind of a person.
He lasted 3 months.
And so
they graded you, and you, after the semester or whatever, in your mailbox there was a slip of paper, and they graded you for characterization, gestures, articulation, makeup, you know,
movement.
He got the lowest that they'd ever given anyone was like a 2 point or something out of possible 10. He got a 1-3, I think.
I think that's true.
And he was let go. And he said to me, I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to New York.
I'll show him.
And he said, if you ever get to New York, look me up. And then I came to New York 2 years later, and that's when he said, you can stay in my apartment. He had 1 bedroom and a very small living room. That was really a living room with a kitchen. I mean, it was not very many square feet on 2nd Avenue, 30th Street, something like that.
26th Street.
26th Street. He says, you can stay there for a couple nights. And then I wouldn't leave.
I had to take him out and go up and down the streets of New York looking for an apartment.
I was scared shitless. How did the bongos and the conga come about?
I don't know.
We'd go up on the roof and play. I'd play bongos, he'd play conga.
I think that probably came from our love of Brando, maybe.
Yes, that's right. We used to hear that he played in clubs.
So we wanted to be like Brando.
That's right.
I'll tell you a story about Dusty.
I know what you're going to tell. You're going to tell about the money you lent me. I know you're going to tell this fucking story.
It's a funny story, I think. I go over to Dusty's little apartment in Pasadena one time, and he says, hey, can you loan me some money? I said, yeah. My wife was working. I wasn't working, but my wife was working. So
we both lived.
I said, how much do you need? He said, I don't know, $5 or whatever. And
more than that.
So I go into his kitchen, and he has these mason jars up on a ledge. And one of them says rent, one of them says entertainment, one says books, one says about 5 of them, all labeled.
Electric.
And they all had money in it, except the one that said food. And that didn't happen to have any money. So I said to him, well, you don't need any money, you got money. He says, I can't take the money out of the other jars. I think your mom probably told you that was the way to...
That's right. Or my father.
Borrow money from Gentiles.
That's right. And don't pay them back. Psychologically, Gene, myself, we did not think about making it in the terms that people think about it. I mean, we fully expected to be failures for our entire life, and meaning that we would always be scrambling to get a part. We were actors, and we had no pretensions or you know.
Well, there was a kind of a feeling of, you know, Jack Kerouac at that time on the road, and you know, kids really just wanted to have a good time and kind of experience things. And as Dusty says, it hadn't had anything to do with being successful.
There was more dignity in being unsuccessful. We didn't call each other.
I just showed up on the set.
How you doing?
Hey, what's happening?
I haven't seen you in a while.
You been working?
Yeah, for the last 46 years, once in a while. If I do get a phone call from Gene, I've just done a film, and he'll say, I saw such and such, you were a piece of shit. And then he just hangs up.
Or one of us will say, very interesting.
That's right. I saw that film, very interesting.
You did it again.
Yeah. Or I saw that film, that was a tough role.
Yeah. How many actors could pull that off?
Because you're not one of them.
Yes, right.
actors will say, but my character would... I always say, well, who is a character? I mean, there's no such thing. It's this amorphous thing. I mean, you barely know yourself. How are you going to know something that's fictional, even another person? So don't you take those characteristics that they give Gene or that they give me, and you then make it a part of something that you can touch, identify. Yeah, I have that in me, I have that in me. And then you just let that, and then forget about it. And then, because you're you. But once you're doing those characteristics or whatever, you alter a little bit. You can't help it. You're not thinking about it. And then what comes through for an audience is a character. But you're not thinking character. You're not thinking that.
The guy you played in Midnight Cowboy, would, you know, probably if you knew Dusty, well, you'd say there's no... What part of Dustin is in that character? What was his name?
Ratso Rizzo.
Ratso Rizzo.
Enrico Rizzo.
Yeah.
Well, that was...
But there's a lot of things you can find in yourself that is like... And then there's externals that you add to that.
Say, okay, I got an accent, I got a limp, whatever. But, I mean, it's... If you can't touch that, I mean, if you don't, you know... In other words, that wasn't the reach for me. Now, if I see that movie now, I see a lot I'd like to take down. Believe me, I could make a lot of shit more subtle, which I wish I had had a chance to do then. But nevertheless, I did identify because I was an outsider. I couldn't, and well, both of us were. I couldn't get a date. I got pimples, whatever. I mean, I had no way. I had no way to charm or get. I mean, I couldn't even finish a dial on a phone trying to get a girl. I mean, so in that sense, it was. I mean, I felt ugly. I felt ugly. But I was talking about to you the other day about his work. Is that it's. I don't, as well as I know Gene, I don't know where, because he works the same way, but I don't know where I don't know where he got, let's say, the conversation from. I know where he got Scarecrow from, you know, I know, because I know that part of him, and I know where he got, and people didn't realize, I know where he gets that Frankenstein, I know where, because I know that fucking zany thing that in him. But that character, let's say, in Conversation, and even Popeye Doyle, because there's a, you know, that's, if you know Gene, you've seen the parts of that. But the concentration was, it just took me, I said, Jesus. Because I did think it was as well, and I know him for years, my God. And I thought it was, that's another person.
There's an example of somebody setting up atmosphere. Francis Coppola will set up an atmosphere for an actor because he likes actors. He enjoys it, and he knows that if his work is going to be good, the actor's work has to be good. And he will set up the atmosphere for you to work in. That's, for me, that's primary.
But what were you thinking about in terms of that, kid? Were you just thinking isolation?
Yeah, I had an uncle that looked very much like him.
I see.
And I also, I knew somebody very well when I was in the Marine Corps who was probably ended up being a serial killer or something, but he was this guy who was, you could not break that.
We are no different. Certainly he's no different. I mean, it's the same person. It's literally the same person as when we were bumming around in the late 50s in New York. No different in...
We get together and the first thing we start talking about is girls.
Yes.
I mean, it's just...
I mean, it's all...